So you see, the road to the decision is three-way. If you are following the French and Spanish, the European way, probably you are doing most of the more of a Latarze. American way, more of a Bankart. But we Asian, we want complicated things. So this is the straight way to a complication where we think about, identify either Bankart is good or the Latarze is good. So first thing is, what is important, what you are tuned to. Your training matters a lot. If you are satisfied with your results, even with the Bankart or even with the bony procedure, do what you are trained to do. That is what even the recent meta-analysis says, that both Bankart and the Latarze in selected cases have a very good results. But for me, deciding between soft tissue and the bony are two-pronged attack. One, I think about the bone loss. The other one, I take a deep consideration of the patient factors. There are several patient factors that has to be taken into consideration. We all knew that in 2007, Pascal, they produced a very essential injury severity index score, to which they stuck to a very long time and found that if there are, the score is less than 6, probably Bankart is going to work. If it is more than 6, there is a 70% failure rate of Bankart repair if the ICIS score is more than 6. But there are several limitations of this ICIS score. Only 6 factors were taken into consideration. The bone loss assessment was done based upon only the X-rays, the internal rotation X-rays and the lateral views. 20 years was the cutoff mark in their studies, but we know that 20 to 40 and the more than 40 years, these have different recurrence rate, and the soft tissue qualities were not taken into consideration. This is one of the very latest study, 2024 August, in which they say that if IC score is 0 to 3, the recurrence is about 15%, which is quite relevant to the Bankart recurrence. If it is 4 to 6, recurrence rate increases by two-folds, it's 40%, and if it is more than 6, still remains more than 70. So probably in this group of the recurrence rate, when it is around 40, the gray area of the ICIS score, where we have to do a shared decision rather than just deciding based upon the ICIS score. Then there was a lot of talk on on track and off track. This was about 10 years ago when we all fell into love of this on track and off track lesion. That time it was a 25% glenoid bone loss, which is considered as a cutoff mark. Either you decide as a Bankart repair or you go for the Latarze. But you see, these glenoid bone loss had changed over a period of time, and then it has come down to 13.5% as a critical bone loss. This was one of the lower one of the published in 2024. They found that more than 7% bone loss have a higher rate of recurrence rate in elite sportsmen. So probably in near future we'll see that this 13.5 will still further go down in certain selected group of patients. Even the, Giovanni, who coined the terms of on track, off track, and thought that 25% bone loss is adequate, now they have come down to a 15% bone loss, and then they have produced a new, protocol for treatment of these, bone loss patients, and they found that if between 15 to 20%, again it is a gray zone where you have to take into consideration many factors, rather than when there is a more than 20% bone loss and less than 15% bone loss. So the bone loss also has a gray zone. It's not only bone loss will determine that what type of surgery is going to do, perform or is ideal for this patient. So decision making in gray area is still a challenging. So my approach, I usually use all the available modalities for my decision making. I combine ASI score and the bone loss. Then I divide my patient into two groups. Either these are the high group patient, high risk group patient, or the low risk group patient based upon all these factors. So my approach is I divide them into 3 groups. One is ASI score, which is less than 3, and the bone loss less than 13.5%. And the other extent is when ASI score is 6 and more than 20% bone loss. So these patients, they will go into the Bankart and they will go into the Latarze. So the doubt occurs when it is in the gray zone. So what I do in gray zone, which means 4 to 6%, 4 to 6 score of the ASI, and the bone loss somewhere between 13.5 to 20%, I divide them into the low risk group and the high risk group. If it is a low risk group, I'll go ahead with the Bankart repair. If it is high risk group, I suggest a Latarze. But many of these patients of the high risk group, if they disagree for Latarze procedure and they want Bankart repair, in these cases I supplement with some other additional procedures. And the remplissage is my way to go. If I see a Hill-Sachs lesion, I do a remplissage to the most of my cases. So gray area is the part where you need to think of. Otherwise, if it is a less than 13.5%, more than 20% bone loss, there is no debate what you have to do. And probably in these cases, thinking about ASI, identifying the high risk group and the low risk group will help you in deciding what surgery is to be done. There are certain special situations in which I alter my decision making in these surgeries, like patient with recurrent dislocation in epileptics. I have stopped doing a Latarze procedure in epileptics because anytime they can go ahead and rip apart the glenoid. Generalized ligamentous laxity, I'm more inclined towards the Latarze procedure in case of generalized ligamentous laxity. More than 30% bone loss, alone your Latarze procedure is not enough. Probably in those cases, based upon how much bone loss and what is the size of the coracoid, you decide either you do a congruent arc, ICBG transfer, or the allograft. And special surgeries or additional surgeries are remplissage. In most of my cases, I do remplissage if I'm doing a Bankart repair. Subscap augmentation, if the tissue quality is poor, I do a subscap augmentation. And thus procedure only in high-risk patient who actually qualify, in my opinion, for Latarze procedure, but they have decided to go ahead with the Bankart. In that case, I do DAS. So to conclude, various protocols and scoring systems are available to guide the decision. Treatment has to be individualized. Glenoid bone loss is the most important variable in decision making, and addition of the remplissage has become more valuable now if you are doing a soft tissue procedure. Thank you very much.